Good morning, students. Students, today we are going to start chapter number 2, basic accounting terms. Although we have discussed a few important terms while doing the journal entry and in the starting of your classes, okay? But today we will be taking all these, accounting equations in detail, and there are, you can see 26 definitions are there, right? So let's take one by one. The first one is talking about the business transactions. You might have listened, I'm using this term frequently, transactions, okay, past the business transactions. If business is having so many transactions, okay, or some business can have less number of transactions. So what is this transaction? Students, transaction is an economic activity which changes your financial position. If any transaction take place, so that affects on your either your on your assets or your liabilities or capital, okay, it affects somewhere, right? So here it is explaining that whenever any business transactions takes place, it results in a change in the value of some of the assets, liabilities or capital. You might have seen in the journal entry when we are introducing the cash as a capital, okay, so your assets increases and your capital also increases, right? You are doing some expenses, so because of expenses, in accounting equation you have learned it very well, and we have three terms: assets is equal to liabilities plus capital, right? So these three things we have taken, and each and every transaction affects on these three things. So it is very, very clear that transaction means any economic activity which affects, due to the transaction, it affects on the either assets, liability or capital, right? Next is your event. Students, event is a consequent or result of the transaction. When you do any transaction, so because of the transaction, what result comes, what is the outcome of that transaction is considered as an event. Like we have so many transactions, okay, in the journal entry you have done, like invested the money, purchased goods, sold goods, some expenses you have done, and finally you have to prepare your ledger, trial balance, and with the help of trial balance you prepare your financial statements and you find out either some profit or loss. So due to these transactions, the result comes, that result is your event, right? So which event is taking place, either profit or losses. So it's explaining an event is the consequence or result of a transaction. For example, they have taken certain transactions over here, like investment, purchase of goods, making cash, sales, payment of godown rent, and that way they have calculated, and the profit comes 60,000, right? So this 60,000 is the event. Here we are not learning how to calculate. In fact, we have learned it already in the accounting equation, but in very detail we will be taking in financial statements, okay? This is not the right place to calculate the profit. Here we have to understand what is event, right, students? So event is what? That's a result of the transactions. Next we will talk about the account. Well, you are well familiar about the account. What is the account? We have learned we have to prepare so many accounts, after passing the journal entry. What do we have to do? We have to do the ledger posting, and in ledger posting what do we call, how many accounts we have to prepare, as the number of names are there, right? The separate accounts are there. जैसे कि हमने किया cash account debit to capital, so this is cash account, and then to capital account, right? So these both are the account. So account is a thing like the like nature transactions are kept at one place, okay? The similar kind of nature, the things which are having similar kind of nature, we are keeping at one place, okay? Either we are subtracting these things, we are adding these things, or we are recording at one particular place. So that is called account. For example, we have learned in the journal entry, we just sort out first one. First entry is your cash account debit to capital. Now we just look for the cash everywhere. In all the transactions we find out cash. So wherever we have we find the cash, we keep in one particular account, and that is your cash account. Understood, students? When cash is debited, so we mention in the debit side, and when it is credited, we mention in the credit side. So that is your account, right? And we have two sides, debit and credit. Well, so it's telling that in accounting we keep a separate record of each individual assets, liability, expenses, or income. The place where such a record is maintained is termed as an account. All right. So you have to understand, students, you can see that there is a long explanation. You must go through it to understand. But whenever it is asked in exam, define account. So you have to give the gist of this, the brief and gist, important things you have to give. Okay. Now next accounting term is your capital. Now at this place we are well aware about most of the these definitions. Capital is that amount which is invested by the businessman. Okay, businessman starts business with some amount of finance. Okay, without finance it can't start. So this finance which he introduce in the business, that is called his investment. So this investment is the capital. So it refers to the amount invested by the proprietor in business enterprise. Amount may be in the form of cash, goods, or assets. For the firm, it's a liability towards the proprietor. Students, we have discussed about the entity concept. I have told you on the very first related to the first transaction, first journal entry, cash to capital. So capital is that amount which is invested by the businessman, and this is liability of the business. How it comes? Well, business and businessman both are separate. Okay, from accounting point of view, business and businessman both are separate, but from legal point of view both are same. So this is very important, students. You must keep it in your mind. Okay, so for accounting point of view they are separate. Okay, when the business is separate, businessman is separate, and businessman has provided 5 lakh rupees to the business to deal with certain things. So that means business has taken loan from the businessman, a kind of credit he has taken, and one day business has to return it back to the businessman. So this capital is considered as an liability of the business. Fine. And this capital can be invested in cash or kind. All right, you might have seen the entries also. What happens, students, if you have sufficient cash, that's well and good, but sometimes we may have certain assets which are required in the business. So instead of buying it from the market, we can use these assets, right? Maybe these are lying at your place, your personal assets are there, and that's your personal money which you are investing in the business. So you can take kind of assets also. Okay, so these assets are equally termed as your capital. All right. Next we have equation. They have taken the same one, accounting equation. That's capital is equal to assets minus liability. Okay, the basic your accounting equation is assets is equal to liability plus capital. Okay, when capital comes here and assets goes there, so this is the equation. Next we have drawing. Drawing is that amount which is drawn by the businessman for its personal use. Students, two things I have told you, and once again I'm reminding you, always keep it in your mind that whenever we think something, so that must be thought from business point of view, and we record all these transactions in the books of business only, right? The transactions are recorded in the business books, and we always think from business point of view. Okay, so drawing is a amount which is drawn by the businessman for its personal use. It can be in cash or kind. Next one is liability. It refers to the amount which the firm owes to the outsider, right? Firm owes to the outsider means firm को outsiders का कुछ pay करना है, कुछ लिया हुआ है. Maybe it is on the credit basis. They have purchased something on the credit basis, or they have taken loan, kind of thing, right? So it's telling that, in other words, of Finlay and Miller, liability are debts. They are amounts owed to creditors. This can be expressed as liability is equal to assets minus capital. That's the same equation. And they have explained this liability in the different parts, means the classification of the liability, you can say. Okay, so liability can be classified on this basis. That's your internal and external liability. according to their name. Internal means inside the business and external outside of the business. Internal, which one is the internal? Like capital. Capital is introduced by the businessman in the business. Okay, so this is your internal liability. Fine. So it's telling all amounts which a business entity has to pay to the proprietor or owners are internal liabilities, such as capital and accumulated profits. Then external liability means bahar walon ko jo pay karna hai, that is external liability. Means your creditors are there. Maybe you have purchased goods on the credit basis, so you have to pay them back. So that is your external liability. Maybe you have taken some loan from the bank, so you have to pay this, right? So this is also your external liability. Overdraft is there, bank overdraft, bills payables are there, outstanding expenses are there. So all these things are your external liability. Okay, now liabilities can be further classified in another two parts, and these are long term or short term. Students, earlier we used to use these words long term and short term. Now in companies that we have changed the name, and these are termed as current liabilities and non current liability. Short term yani ki current liability, and long term yani ki non current liabilities. So they have termed it like that, long term or non current liabilities. So these are the liabilities which fall due for payment in a relatively long time of the period, and we can say after 1 year. Okay, the liabilities which we pay within 1 year, within 12 months, so that is termed as your current liability, and which we pay for the long time of the period, means after 1 year generally, so that is termed as your non-current liabilities, like debentures, and when you take bank loan, so these are your non-current liabilities. All right, and current liability I have told you within 1 year when we pay, so this is your current liability. Next is your assets. Students, assets, we know that it's anything which is in the possession of or is the property of a business. Property, संपत्ति होना business की, कोई भी उसके possession में होना, कोई भी assets, like कोई भी उसने चीज खरीदी है for the long time of the period. When this is not for the short time of the period, and business is using these articles for a long time of the period, so these are termed as assets. So let's see how they are defining. It's telling that anything which is in the possession or is the property of a business enterprise, including the amounts due to it from the others, it is called an asset. In other words, anything which will enable a business enterprise to get cash or a benefit in future is an asset, right? It provides you the benefit, and this can be sometimes this can be converted in money also. Here it is explaining, like debtors. Debtors are also your assets, and with the time being, the debtors will be converted into cash. Okay, so thus cash and bank balance, stock, furniture, machinery, land and building, bills receivable, money owing by debtors, etc., all your these all are your assets. And here we have certain definitions, you can learn any one of them. Now, like liabilities, we have a classification of assets also, and in the same way we have the current assets and non-current assets, means short period and long period, right? So non-current assets, according to its name, these are not current. Students, let's understand the current assets first. Current assets are those one which can be converted into cash within 12 months. Okay, although cash and bank balance is also a part of your current assets, these are highly liquid, we call them liquid assets also, right? And rest of the current assets, like your short term investments are there, and debtors are there. Okay, prepaid expenses are there. But non current assets means these are not current, and we can't easily we can't convert these assets into the cash. So non-current assets refer to those assets which are held for continued use in the business for the purpose of producing goods or services and are not meant for sale. Like if you have purchased some land and building, right? Building you are using, okay, plant and machinery you have purchased for the production. So it's not that you have purchased it to sell it out. No, you have used these assets to use it in your business. You have purchased some vehicles, right? You have purchased some furniture. Okay, you have purchased one computer. So these all things you have purchased to use for a long time of the period, right? So these are termed as your non-current assets. Okay, so examples of the non-current assets they have given, like land and building, plant and machinery, computer, motor vehicle, furniture, etc., so and so. Fine. Now, fixed assets are further classified. They are the different thing I have told you about the current assets and non-current. Now, further classification is tangible and intangible assets. Although I have explained it many times, tangible assets are those one which we can see and touch. Okay, so we can see and touch the assets. These are called tangible assets, like your plant and machinery, furniture, stock is there, like goods को भी आप touch कर सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं. So here we have removed the difference of the current and non-current. The basis of the classification is tangible and intangible. All right. Now, intangible are those assets which can't be seen and touched, but these exist in the business, right? Like we can feel them, we can felt their presence. These are like goodwill, means good reputation of the business can be enjoyed by everyone. Patents, copyright, trademark, computer software, etc. These are your intangible assets. Okay, and for example, with the help of patents, right? Patents आपका एक तरह का known how है. A businessman is able to produce goods, and his goodwill helps in this is attaching customers and attracting customers easily. Goodwill, your reputation, when you have name and fame in the market, so your customers comes to you back. Okay, and new customers also easily attracts to you. I hope it is clear what is tangible and intangible. And here we have discussed already current assets and non-current assets we have discussed. Okay, now next we have, okay, one more kind of assets is your fictitious assets. Fictitious or nominal assets are those one, students, which is having no reliable value, or you can say the zero reliable value. We don't realize anything. Okay, these are a kind of your those kind of expenses also which we didn't write off still. Okay, and generally debit balance of the P&L, later on you will study when we prepare the balance sheet. If we have a credit balance of the P&L, that is your profit, that is shown in the liability side. Okay, and when we have a loss, so that is shown in the asset side. So this is your fictitious assets. Okay, and that is deferred revenue expenditure. Deferred revenue expenditures, it's that part which is not written off, that is also your fictitious assets, and we show in the asset side of the balance sheet. Okay, now next is your capital receipts. Next term is capital receipts and revenue receipts. Students, you have to understand here capital and revenue. Revenue is that thing which is for the short time of the period, right? For 12 months generally we use this word revenue. We have the revenue expenses also, we have the revenue receipts also, and in the same way capital receipts and capital that is expenses. So capital receipts are those one which we realize from the fixed assets. Okay, when we sell the fixed assets, like we have sold our machinery and we realized money, जो हमें receipt means कुछ मिला है आपको. So whatever we have received on the sale of your fixed assets, like land and building बेचा है, plant and machinery बेचा है, okay, furniture fixture बेचा है, these kind of things you have sold, vehicle बेचा है आपने कोई, and you have received that money, so that is your capital receipt. And revenue receipt, that you receive from sale of your goods. When you are selling your goods, right, so the amount which you receive, that is your revenue receipt. Okay, so it is also necessary to make a proper distinction between capital receipt and revenue receipt, because the revenue receipt are shown on the credit side of the trading and P&L account, whereas the capital receipts are shown in the balance sheet either as increase in liabilities or as reduction in the value of assets. Students, there is a difference where these appears. Revenue receipts always affect on your trading and P&L. Sales कहाँ दिखाते हैं हम, अभी आपको नहीं पता, because we didn't learn the financial statements. Sales we show in the trading account, credit side of the trading account we show. Okay, and if you have any other revenue receipts, like आपको rent receive हुआ है, commission receive हुआ है, तो वो भी आपका P&L के credit में आता है. Means these are your income and we show in the credit side of trading and P&L. Okay, but if you have capital receipt, so this affects on your assets or liability, means this affects on your balance sheet either as increase in the liabilities or as reduce in the value of assets. When you sell the assets, आप assets sell करते हैं, ठीक है, sell करेंगे तो क्या होगा, आपकी असेट्स कम हो जाएंगी वहाँ से, राइट. तो दिस इफेक्ट्स देयर. They have taken a few examples. As I have already told you, capital receipts are amount received from the sale of fixed assets or investment, capital introduced by the proprietor, partners, or money obtained from the issue of share and debentures in case of company. तो वो भी आपकी capital receipt है. Share issue करना, debenture issue करना, तो you receive the cash, right? You receive a capital from them. Amount received by of loan, आप लोन ले रहे हैं तो वो भी आपका कैपिटल है. बिजनेस में इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं ना, लोन लेके इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं आप, तो दैट इज योर कैपिटल रिसीट. Revenue receipts are money obtained from sale of goods and commission and fee received for services rendered, interest and dividend received. So every year we are receiving these kind of thing. Okay, so these are your revenue receipts. Okay, well, next is your expenditure. Students, before starting this topic, here is the expenditure and here you will find the expenses. So let me tell you the difference first, then I will proceed further. Expenditure and expenses. In layman's language, if we understand, I mean, when a person who is not having the knowledge of accountancy, they find it synonym, expenditure and expenses, one and all is the same thing, but it is not so. There is a big difference, okay? Considerable differences there. So expenditures generally we use for acquiring the assets, right? हम assets खरीदते हैं, okay? तो उसके लिए जो of course when you purchase something, so you have to pay, वो expenses होगा ना आपका. मान लीजिए आप एक मशीनरी खरीद रहे हैं बिजनेस के लिए, all right, one plant and machinery you have purchased, 5 लाख की आई है, तो आप क्या कहते हैं, 5 लाख रुपए मेरा खर्च हो गया है, आई हैव स्पेंड 5 लाख रुपीज, सो दिस इज माई एक्सपेंसेस. आई मीन नॉर्मली आप कह देते हैं, इट इज नॉट एक्सपेंसेस, दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज योर एक्सपेंडिचर. ओके, व्हाई इट इज एक्सपेंडिचर? बिकॉज यू हैव स्पेंड इट ऑन योर फिक्स एसेट्स. ऑलराइट स्टूडेंट्स, असेट्स को परचेज करने के लिए जो आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, जो पैसा लगाते हैं, जो खर्चा करते हैं, दैट इज टर्म्ड एज एक्सपेंडिचर, नॉट एक्सपेंसेस. ऑलराइट, एंड एक्सपेंसेस होता है, दिस इज ऑफ योर रेवेन्यू नेचर, राइट? द एक्सपेंसेस, आई मीन द अमाउंट विच यू स्पेंड विद इन 12 months वर्किंग कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट, जो आप 12 months के अंदर जो भी खर्च करते हैं, दैट इज टर्म्ड एज योर एक्सपेंसेस. For example, for the revenue, for generating the revenue, whatever you do, okay, as you purchase your goods purchase करते हैं किस लिए, कि आप उसको सेल करेंगे एंड रेवेन्यू जनरेट करेंगे. यू डू सर्टेन एक्सपेंसेस लाइक सैलरी पे किया है, रेंट पे किया है, एडवर्टीजमेंट एक्सपेंसेस है, ऑफिस एक्सपेंसेस हैं, राइट, प्रिंटिंग, स्टेशनरी एंड सो मैनी अदर एक्सपेंसेस आते हैं. तो ये सारे क्या होते हैं, दीज ऑल आर कॉल्ड एक्सपेंसेस एंड दीज आर टर्म्ड एज रेवेन्यू, right? Means for generating the revenue we do, all right? And otherwise we call these one revenue expenditure also, and these are termed as your capital expenditure. All right students, so let me read it for you. So expenditure, any disbursement of cash or transfer of property or incurring a liability for the purpose of acquiring assets, goods or services is called expenditure. Okay, it means that any type of payment for the receipt of benefit in term as expenditure. So expenditure may be classified in 3 categories. Is that clear students? For acquiring the assets, the amount which we spend, that is termed as an expenditure, and we have classified in 3 categories are there. First one is capital expenditure, then revenue expenditure and deferred revenue expenditure. Okay, so capital expenditure is very clear when you invest in the fixed assets. Okay, so any expenses which is incurred in acquiring or increasing the value of fixed assets is termed as capital expenditure. Okay, as such, the amount spent on a purchase or erection of building, plant, furniture, etc. is capital expenditure. All right, and such expenses yields benefit over a long period and hence return in assets. And these expenses, okay, because you have purchased the assets for the long time of the period, and these expenses provide you benefit in the long term, right? And for the long time of period it provides. Next one is your revenue expenditure. Any expenditure the full benefit of which is received during one accounting period is termed as revenue expenditure, such as cost of goods sold, salary, rent, electricity charges, etc. As such, all revenue expenditures are debited to trading and profit and loss account. Students, I've told you about the expenses. So these expenses are termed as revenue expenditure. All right. So you can understand one more thing. Expenditure is having the wider term than expenses. Expenses are the part of your expenditure. Expenditure is covering everything. Okay. Capital expenditure as well as revenue expenditure. All right, students. So revenue expenditures are your expenses which we do for 12 months, right, for generating the revenue, and we call these expenses as revenue expenditure also. Is that clear, the difference? Okay. Now they have given the differences also. Capital expenditure is incurred for acquisition and erection of fixed assets, whereas revenue expenditure is incurred for day-to-day expenses, right, for running the business. Capital expenditure is incurred for the purpose of increasing the earning capacity of the business. Capital expenditure क्यों किया जाता है? To increase the running efficiency of the business. Okay, earning efficiency, earning capacity also. Whereas revenue expenditures is incurred for maintenance of earning capacity. ये earning capacity को improve करता है, and this one is your this is for your increasing earning capacity. Next one is capital expenditure yields benefit normally over a long period, whereas this provides you for the 1 year only. Okay. Capital expenditure is written off in the balance sheet, whereas revenue expenditure is written off in the trading and P&L account. So where do we write? Capital expenditures generally we write in the balance sheet, and revenue expenses we show in the trading and P&L. Okay. Not written off, it is written in the balance sheet and trading and P&L. Next one is very important, students, deferred revenue expenditure. You know, these are the expenses which are having the elements of both that capital also and revenue also. Deferred revenue expenditures are such expenses, these are of the revenue nature, right? As we do the expenses, let's take one example side by side. If we do some expenses on the advertisement, and advertisement expenses almost if you take example of your big companies, on daily basis they are spending lakhs of the rupees, right? Monthly basis, yearly basis. So this is your revenue kind of nature when we talk about the advertisement, right? But as we have discussed, the expenditures, they provide you benefit for a long time of the period. And if we have certain advertisement expenses which provides you, of course it is having the revenue nature, one point. Second one, कि these are giving you benefit for a very long time of the period, say 5 years, 10 years के लिए आपको benefit दे रहे हैं ये expenses. तो आप कहाँ इसको deal करेंगे, revenue या capital? So this is having the elements of both of those one. Okay. One more example I'm taking to make you understand. Suppose we have spent 10 lakh rupees on advertisement, and we have estimated that these 10 lakh rupees of advertisement, this is going to give you the benefit for 10 years completely. All right. So 10 years is a long time of the period, right? So this is of the capital nature, right? And as these are expenses, and these are advertisement expenses which is having the nature of revenue. So how to do and what to do? We divide in 10 parts, divided by 10. Suppose 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh we have taken, 10 lakh rupees divided by 10. So every year 1 lakh rupees you have to show in your P&L account, means we have to write off 1 lakh rupees every year, and the remaining amount we will be showing in the asset side of the balance sheet. Okay, as we have discussed in the previous topic, fictitious assets kind of thing. Okay, is that clear, students? So deferred revenue expenditures are having both the elements, okay, capital as well as revenue. So there are certain expenditures which are revenue in nature, but the benefit of which is likely to be derived over a number of years. Such expenditures are termed as deferred revenue expenditure. The benefit of such an expenditure generally lasts between 3 to 7 years. As such, the whole of such expenditure is not debited to P&L account of the current year. but spread over the years for which the benefit is likely to last. Have you understood, students? Okay, so we just spread its benefit because we are getting the benefit for a long time of the period, and whatever we are having in the current year, that we are showing 7 years के लिए लिया हमने, so we split its cost in 7 years, and annual cost we show in the debit side of the P&L. So thus only a part of such expenses is taken in the P&L account every year, and the unwritten off portion is allowed to stand on the asset side of the balance sheet. All right. Next is your expenses, which I have already explained. So expenses is the cost incurred in producing and selling the goods and services. Okay. So according to Finlay and Miller, they have given the definition. Expenses is the cost of use of things or services for the purpose of generating revenue. Revenue generate करने के लिए जो आप cost spend करते हैं वो आपका expenses है. Okay. And what is included in that? Cost of goods sold, amount paid for rent, commission, salary, advertisement. Okay. Decline in the value of the assets caused by the use of such assets, business purpose, that is called depreciation. Due to depreciation, every year your assets decreases. Okay, so this is also your revenue expenses. All right, students, now we will talk about income. Income is different from revenue. Students, generally people take it as synonyms, income and revenue. These are totally different. These are not same. So amount received from the sale of goods is called revenue, and the cost of goods sold is called expenses, and surplus of revenue or expenses is called income. Let's take a simple example. You have purchased some goods at 50 rupees, all right, and you have spent some expenses 20 rupees. Okay. Purchases are there. Purchase goods of rupees 50 and some expenses like carries and all 20 rupees. So total cost is 70 rupees and you have sold at 100 rupees. Okay. So this 100 rupees is called your revenue. Right, students? Very soon we have a definition of revenue also. What is revenue? Revenue is that amount which we generate from sales, which we receive from the sale of goods. Okay, so that is your revenue. Fine. And when we reduce the expenses, I mean these expenses, cost of goods sold, when you reduce the cost of goods sold from revenue, that comes your income. All right. So my revenue were 100 and my cost of these goods, that was 70. So 30 rupees is remaining. So this is your income. Okay? I hope it is clear. So they have taken one example. The goods costing 4 lakh are sold for 5 lakh. The sales amount 5 lakh is the revenue and the cost amounting 4 lakh is your expenses, and the difference is your 1 lakh. All right. Now profit. It is excess of total revenue over total expenses of the business enterprise for an accounting period. Profit increases the investment of the owner. Generally income and profit को हम एक तरह से यूज करते हैं. All right. So it is telling total. अब यहाँ पे फर्क क्या आ जाता है? This is the difference of your cost of goods sold and sales. ओके ये डायरेक्ट है, बट इनकम में से आप बहुत सारे और एक्सपेंसेस भी माइनस करते हैं, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस, जैसे कि ऑफिस एक्सपेंसेस है, एडवर्टीजमेंट एक्सपेंसेस एंड सर्टेन there is a long list of these expenses. When you reduce all those expenses from the income, so that is your profit. Okay. Now gain, it's a monetary benefit, profit or advantage resulting from events or transactions which are incidental to business, such as sale of fixed assets, winning a court case, or appreciation in the value of assets. For example, they have taken gain. Students, it's not a continuous thing. Okay. Sometimes this happens, like incidental cases are there. See, when you your revenue is that amount which you generate from sale of goods. So that is your regular income. I mean the regular receipt is there of the cash, all right. So वो आपका रेगुलर बेसिस पे है. एंड यू हैव द इनकम फ्रॉम योर रेवेन्यू. रेवेन्यू में से आप कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स माइनस कर देते हैं तो आपकी इनकम आ जाएगी. इनकम में से एक्सपेंसेस, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस माइनस करेंगे तो प्रॉफिट भी आ जाएंगे. बट जनरली वी नोइंगली वी यूज दिस, यू नो, प्रॉफिट एंड गेन को आप एक उसमें यूज कर लेते हैं, बट इट इज़ नॉट सो. एज यू हैव learn the definition of your nominal, I mean the rule of nominal account. What your nominal account says: debit all expenses and losses, credit all the income and gain, all right. So there is a difference between income, profit and gain. So gains are your incidental receipts. Incidental means this is not your business to sell your assets, but one of my machinery is getting old, okay, and I want to replace it, and I want to purchase a new one, right? So you have sold your old machinery, and in this transaction, when you have sold the machinery, you gain something. How does this happen? The cost, the written down value of your old machinery is 5,000, and you have sold it at 8,000. Okay, so its cost was 5,000, but you have realized 8,000, all right, more than its cost, more than its written down value. So this 3,000 is एक्सेस, यू नो, ओवर द कॉस्ट. ये ज़्यादा मिला है आपको, तो ये क्या है? आपका गेन है, ऑल राइट. नाउ वी विल टॉक अबाउट लॉस. सो द टर्म conveys two different meanings. First, it conveys the result of business for a period when total expenses exceeds the total revenue. All right students, we have discussed over there. So income का opposite आपका हो जाता है, चलिए ये तो profit का है. So when total expenses एक्सीड्स टोटल रेवेन्यू. टोटल रेवेन्यू यानी सेल से जो भी आपको जनरेट हुआ है, ओके, ये आपका कम है, एंड टोटल एक्सपेंसेस आपके ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग योर कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड सोल्ड प्लस इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस. तो सारे एक्सपेंसेस आपके ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं, इन रेवेन्यू आपका कम है, तो वो नेगेटिव में बैलेंस चला जाएगा और वो आपका लॉस होगा. सो व्हेन वी विल डू द प्रैक्टिकल, सो दीज थिंग्स विल बी 100% क्लियर practically, okay. And here for example they are taking, if revenue are 2 lakh and expenses are 2,40,000, so we know that 40,000 is your loss, right? Next is your purchases. Students, purchases, these are very clear terms, and we have discussed it many times, and you are very clear about it. Purchases we generally use for, in business we use purchases for your goods, okay. We don't use it for your you know assets के जैसे आपने परचेज मशीनरी परचेज किया. इनफैक्ट दिस इज योर इंग्लिश टर्म, परचेज, खरीदना, परचेज यानी खरीदना, तो परचेज मशीनरी. सो फॉर दैट यू पास द एंट्री मशीन अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश बैंक और सो एंड सो, ऑल राइट. बट परचेज अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश कब करते हैं? परचेज डेबिट कब करते हैं? व्हेन यू परचेज द गुड्स, ओके. So the term purchases is used only for the purchases of goods in which the business deals, all right. In case of manufacturing concern, goods means acquiring of raw material for the purpose of conversion into finished products and then sale. In case of trading concern, goods are those things which are purchased for resale, means ready-made thing. Is that clear students? Purchase we use for your goods in which you are dealing, if it is a trading business, and if it is a manufacturing business, so your raw material, right? Because you purchase the raw material, then you convert it into the finished goods, all right. So purchases are always used for your goods in which your business is dealing, not for the assets. Now purchase return. Purchase return is that where you have purchased the goods, when you are returning the goods, when it is not up to the mark, not up to the specification, and you are returning, so that is your purchase return, all right. Now we will talk about the sales. So sales is what? Sales means transferring the ownership, okay. Means right now these goods are with you, आपके पास ये goods हैं, आप इसके owner हैं, but customer comes to you and he wants these goods, वो purchase करना चाहता है, तो आपने वो purchase करेगा तो आप क्या करेंगे? Sale करेंगे. So that means you have transferred the ownership. आपने वो चीज़ उनको दे दी है and पैसा ले लिया है, और maybe it is on the credit basis. So in both the cases, either it is the cash basis or credit basis, ownership has been transferred, all right. So wherever the ownership has transferred, that is termed as sale. So it's telling sales means transfer of ownership of goods or services to customers for a price. Of course, it is not free of cost. Okay, you charge some price. For example, if Tarun sells a company to Varun, the ownership of they have taken the computer. So computer will be transferred from Tarun to Varun, and Tarun is entitled to receive the agreed price of the computer from Varun. All right, students. And again the same thing like purchases, the term sales is used only for the sale of those goods which are purchased for resale purpose, means in which you are dealing. All right. And sales return is what, students? When we have sold the goods to your customers, and your customers are not satisfied, or maybe the goods are not up to the specification, okay, and some fault is there, some default is there, manufacturing default is there, so they return it to you. When your goods are coming back to you from your customers on the basis of some rejection, so that is termed as sales return. Okay. Next is your stock or stock in trade. Students, stock is the purchases. You purchase the goods, you keep it in your business for sales, and stock is that unsold goods which are with the firm. Okay, at the end of the year, definitely you have you have purchased certain goods to sell, but with the time being, some goods are there which you could not sold on that particular date. So we do the valuation of those goods, and these are termed as stock. Okay. So it's telling the term stock includes the value of those goods which are purchased for reselling and which are lying unsold at the end of the accounting period. I hope it is very clear, students. Okay. We have purchased to resale, but these are unsold goods which are lying with you at a particular date. So we have an opening stock and we have a closing stock. The term opening stock means the value of goods lying unsold at the beginning of the accounting period, whereas the term closing stock is at the end of the closing period. Students, there is a difference of one day only, I tell you. We prepare the balance sheet on the last day of the year, that is 31st March every year. Okay. So on 31st March, my balance sheet is ready and the unsold goods I have shown as a closing stock. Okay. So this is my closing stock on the last day of the business, and the first day is very next day. 1st April will be the first day of my business, and the same closing stock will be termed as opening stock. Always remember, students. Okay. Right. So this was the stock in trade. The term opening, fine, we have done. Next one is your inventory. Students, inventory is also termed as stock. Okay, but in case of a manufacturer, there can be opening and closing inventory of 4 types. You must understand, inventory is your stock. Synonym of stock is inventory, but here specifically we are talking about the manufacturing concerns. Okay, so manufacturing concerns, they have 4 type of inventories. Okay, first one is inventory of the raw material, inventory of the work in progress, inventory of finished goods, and inventory of stock in trade. So let's talk about the raw material. If it is a manufacturing concern, so they have to purchase the raw material and then they manufacture. Quite possible, students, the production is going on, and we have to keep the proper stock of the raw material, because there should be proper coordination in the manufacturing, and during the manufacturing process there should not be break. So we keep our stock of raw material ready. But as the 31st March comes, so we have to stop. Physically we doesn't stop anything, but in books we have to give a pause and we calculate till date how much raw material is unused today. Okay, so that is my inventory of raw material. So it includes inventory of raw material purchased for using them in the products manufacturing but still laying unused. For example, the value of cotton in case of cotton meal in the inventory of raw material. And work in progress, students, one is your inventory, and as I have told you, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंसर्न में प्रोसेस चल रहा है, प्रोसेस है यानी कि प्रोडक्शन चल रहा है, ये रॉ मटेरियल है, first process, second process, and third process, and then comes the final product. So your product is somewhere here, right? At this stage, neither this is raw material nor a finished product. It is somewhere in between. Let's take an example of a leather industry. It is converting into the shoe, right? So it is a raw leather you have purchased, you have done the finishing and coloring kind of thing, and the cutting is going on. So neither it is a leather, okay, nor it is shoe. This is somewhere in between. So this is your work in progress. Okay, so on 31st March, what is the stock of your work in progress? How much cutted leather is available? Okay, how many shoe cuttings are there? So this is your stock of work in progress. So it is also termed as inventory of partly finished goods. It means goods in semi finished form. Such goods need further processing for converting into finished products. I hope it is clear. Now, inventory of finished goods. It includes the inventory of those goods which have been completely processed and are ready for sale but are lying unsold at the end of the accounting period. This we have discussed already. Finished goods का आपका जो था stock. And here, inventory of stock in trade. It includes the value of those goods which are purchased for reselling. Okay, so here it is the same one कि आपने अपना production किया, that is your inventory of finished goods. Okay, and inventory of stock in trade, it includes value of those goods which are purchased for resale. आपने कुछ चीजें परचेज की हैं, कुछ आइटम्स आपने बाहर से परचेज किए हैं टू रीसेल, एंड इफ दीज आर नॉट सोल्ड टिल डेट, सो दिस इज योर टर्म्ड एज inventory of stock in trade. All right, students. So calculation of your closing inventory, there are the two things here. You don't have to learn its this process, but later on you will study that at what value we take the stock, either the market price or its actual price, whichever is less. Here we follow the conservative principle or concept, you can say, and we take the lesser value for the safety purpose. Okay, so let's take the differences between, what technical differences are there between the stock and inventory, although we have used as synonym. So stock refers only to the value of those goods which are purchased for reselling and which are lying unsold at the end of accounting period. Have you understood, students? It's talking about stock. Stock refers only to the value of those goods which are purchased, means ready-made we have purchased, okay, for reselling, and which are lying unsold at the end of accounting period. All right. Whereas the inventory is a wide term which includes stock also. Thus the inventory includes the following, as we have already discussed in the previous topic in detail. Okay, so here we have a raw material, semi-finished goods, finished goods, and inventory of stock. Is that clear, students? So in brief, I tell you, stock only we use for the thing which we have purchased from somebody. All right, means ready-made goods we are purchasing for the trading, so that is your stock. And inventory, where you are manufacturing. Inventory we use in the wider term, it is having the wider concept, and stock is including in the inventory, right? Stock is a part of inventory. So inventory is including that is inventory of the raw material, semi-finished products means work in progress, finished goods, and the last one is inventory of stock, means if you have purchased from somewhere, right, ready-made thing you have purchased, and then you have unsold goods lying, right? So that is termed as inventory of stock. I hope it is clear, students. So rest of the things we will be discussing in next video because it's already too lengthy. Students, these terms are very important, I'm telling you. So keep learning all that. And if you have to cram, if you have, first understand it and just cram 2 sentences. ठीक है, 2 sentences आप अच्छे से learn कर लें of these definitions. Okay, these will be very helpful to you. Thank you.